Let's see if that fixes things. Good. Let's see the volume thing going up and down. Alright, cool. So sorry about that. Good morning, everybody. It's 7:04 a.m. I've been up since 2:30 this morning. I had a lot of good dreams, the ones that I usually like, the ones that usually revolve around, you know, familiar places and faces, the things I don't have anymore. It's just me and my wife, and that's pretty much it. There's the people that come around, but only when they want something. So, that being said, I just been sitting here revisiting some of the things that I miss, and I came to a conclusion on, I don't know how to put this or find the right words to describe it, but I guess no, not an epiphany, but just a thought that just occurred to me, and why there's nothing to be excited for anymore in terms of life from this point to the end of my life. I know what to expect. There's no more surprises. And that goes for everything. Movies is the same old shit. Video games is the same old shit. I mean, the only reason why I like the retro games is because there's a lot of them I haven't beaten, and sometimes they throw me a curveball of something even back then I wouldn't thought would be put into a video game. Like, take for instance a couple retro titles. I'm just throwing this out there. Two of them I'll name off right to bat. One is Beret Fighter by Texan. It's a shooter. Many of you have played it. Many of you may have not. Or some of you may have played the better version, or what's considered the better version, Beret Fighter Deluxe for the Game Boy. Nintendo Game Boy. For those that don't know what a Game Boy is. And if you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. That being said, Beret Fighter was a side-scrolling shooter. And it would go in different directions. You would go left to right, up to down, sometimes diagonal. The game kind of threw me off on a curveball when it came to the directions, because you would never expect where you were to turn the first time playing through the game. I've never beaten it. It's one of the games that's in my backlog. I get to the final stage. That last boss takes for fucking ever to kill. And it seems like no matter how hard I go about it, he won't die. He will, but it takes like 2 minutes of pure shooting. It's mind-boggling. Anyways, the point I'm trying to drive home with Beret Fighter is I don't remember the exact stage. I think it was either the third or fourth stage within the game. You go into this overhead mode where you have to, I can't remember if I don't know if it takes, like I said, you gotta forgive me, I'm kind of in the manic state right now, because it's one of the reasons why I can't sleep. I went to bed at 8, and I slept till about 2, so 6 hours, so that's fine, but if I don't take a nap this afternoon, then I'll be going to bed early, like around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, no joke. I think if memory serves me, there's like these little bases or these enemies. I'll have to play through it to remember correctly, but you go through this part, and you go up and down, and you find these bases, and you destroy them, and you collect an item or something. I'm not sure if the collecting part, I could have that confused with something else, but I know there's overhead parts of the game, and it was something you didn't expect, because you were like, okay, this is just your side-scrolling or multi-scrolling game with no changes of gameplay, so it's just something I gotta memorize, good and good. And then you get thrown in this overhead view, and you're like, what the fuck? It totally throws you off on a whim. You weren't expecting that, though. Another game for the NES is The Adventures of Bayou Billy, also known as Mad City for the Japanese Famicom, and Bayou Billy was for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And the difference between the two is Mad City was super easy, while our version was just hard as fuck. But the difference is Mad City had different endings depending on what you decided at the end of the battle of the game. Or in the American version, you just had that straight ending. What really pissed me off, though, about that, let me go ahead and sidetrack for a minute, is Adventures of Bayou Billy. If you go through the training modes, you get extra weaponry. Not weaponry. You get extra items. You get If you beat the driving stage, you get an extra life. If you beat the shooting stage, you get extra bullets if you run out in the actual game, and you also get a basically if you can count it as an extra life because if you get that meatball by beating the street fighting segment of the training stages, when your life runs out during the game, you'll get another refill. So that's basically you get 2 extra lives and extra bullets. That's a good deal. But the great thing about that game, a lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it. I personally think it's fucking badass. Is the fact that the game is not the same gameplay style on every stage. No, you may think it's just a side-scroll beat 'em up, and I will admit it's pretty weak. That segment is. But what really I love the most is the shooting and driving stages, the most hated parts of the game. Because what I like about the driving stages is this that slight bit of stress you feel to try not to slide off the road and hit the bumps or hit the posts. Why did I say bumps? I'm retarded. The little posts that are on the sides of the road, and if you don't turn a certain way, you'll slide off, and there goes the life. But it was awesome how it changed up the gameplay so it never feels old. And I go back to that game at least twice a year. And because it's that fun, it changes things up. And one more game I'll mention while I'm mentioning video games is, or entertainment or whatever. Excuse me. When I get up, my sinuses usually fuck up on me. This is something no one would ever bring up, but I'm going to. The Lawnmower Man on both the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. It's a movie-based game based off the same name, The Lawnmower Man, which I really liked as a kid. I loved the VR aspect, and I'm like, yep, that's probably the future. And look at us now, guys. The Oculus Rift, Vive, and yeah, so that's around the corner. And some people are like, oh, I hope that's not going to be the way it is. You can't expect to. I mean, this maybe make you happy forever, but trust me, this is not going to last forever. They're going to find ways to deter you from that and actually immerse you into the experience. Personally, I think it'd be great for guys like as fat as me to get off their ass and actually move around to do something in game. Can you imagine a game like WoW and running around in the world and actually experiencing it? Hell, get some stand fans. The osculating fans you can get from Home Depot, they're on sale every summer for dirt cheap. You can get a couple of those, play like a hang gliding simulator or something and put them on the sides of you and get that wind. Dude, that would fuck with my fucking head. But there's a message in that game, though, that does concern me. I mean, it's just a movie, but still, there's always, with every good thing in the world, there's bad things in the world. But I already know what to expect with VR. I played Virtual Boy. I mean, that's not a very good example, but trust me, I just know what to expect. It's not going to be anything all that impressive, in my opinion. But, the entertainment industry is always going to find something for you to get your money, to give you a immersive experience. I'm just happy. I could play the 8-bit Nintendo for the rest of my life, and I'll be straight. Anyway, here we go. The game appears when you first play it as a side-scrolling shooter, because, well, that's what you do majority of the time. But there's parts in the game where you have to get granted access to other parts of the gaming world, and by doing that, you have to shoot them down. And then you hear this little muffled voice, at least on the Super Nintendo version, that goes, "Access granted." And if you don't know what I say, it says "access granted," and it's a female voice. And I'm not a girl, so I can't say it like that. I'm sorry, I just got too deep of that's that German voice. It's too deep. I just can't, But it goes, access granted. And then you go in there, and then you become a pair of hands in front of you, right? And you fly through this interesting space. I mean, it looks primitive compared to today's graphical prowess, but still, the effect it's still effective, at least in my opinion. It looks great. And then there's even segments where they take it further, where they take Super Nintendo's scaling rotation and Mode 7 ability and put it to full use when you're flying through the cyberspace levels, where you're in like a hang glider and you fly around, and it's amazing. It looks great, and it's smooth. It's not slow. There's no slowdown. It's all smooth. The only slowdown you get is when shit explodes on the side scrolling shooting. But what I'm getting at with this whole topic with that is it's different. It's not just the same run around and do the same old shit. No, you got things that deter you from that. And the only game I could think of that actually did that again, that immersed me in that way, was a little cool game for the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox called Metal Arms Glitch of the System. Basically, it's considered the Halo of robots. Now, I don't get it because I've played played through most of the first Halo game, and the reason why I did is because everyone told me how much of a great game it was, and I just thought it was Doom with aliens, boring as hell. I was happier with Doom 3 when that was released on the Xbox, because I had a couple buddies at the time. They were Microsoft fanboys, and they to this day still think Microsoft can't do any wrong. This is what I think about that. And, seeing current status quo, I'm not wrong. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to like entertainment and life in general, you know what to expect. You know what to expect. There is nothing coming out that excites me. And I'm pretty sure there's other people out there that feel the same way. I mean, I Google this because I'm thinking there's got to be something wrong up here. I mean, obviously with obvious. I mean, I don't even have to point it out. You guys know there's a lot of shit going on up here. I mean, you can see it in my videos. You can see it, when I talk shit. It's there, No, and I don't care what anyone says because they can't. There's no claim. They can't prove it. But there's something wrong with everybody. There is not one straight sharpshooter in this world. Everyone's fucked up in their own little way. And I'm sick of these people going around saying, "Oh, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me." Bullshit. I'm sure if we sat you down and put you under some shock therapy, we could get some skeletons out of your closet. And then some. Everybody's fucked up in their own little way. But that being said, it's just, there's nothing to look forward to. I mean, everyone keeps telling me about these great movies that are coming out, and I look at it, I'm like, dude, that looks like this movie I've seen before, or that movie I've seen before, and then I go see that movie just to entertain that person, just to humor them. I'll go see it just to humor them. And I was exactly right. It was just like that movie. One movie that really made me mad, and I think I mentioned this on a vlog before, The Immortals. One thing, I love Greek mythology. I love everything about it. And I saw it in 3D, and I was expecting it to be a kick-ass thing. But the thing that makes me mad is I love the 3D effect, and it's sad to see it go. I do. I love that effect. But the problem is not the effect itself. It's the goddamn laziness of the people who make these movies that don't give you enough of that awe feeling during 3D. There was a part in Immortals, though, it was one part during the whole movie that made it amazing. And it was a part where Archer just, shot a bow towards the screen, and I actually ducked my head. I was like, whoa. It caught me off guard. And my wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, that arrow, it was like coming towards me and shit. She's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, that's the cool thing about 3D. And I'm like, "Yeah," and I'd like to see more of that. And then by the end of the movie, I was disappointed. And there's a lot of movies that were in 3D that just, the effect was useless. Like if you were to take that awful movie with Jodie Foster, I think is her name, The Flight Plan, that movie was the biggest piece of shit I think I've ever seen in my entire life, next to Iron Warrior. Now, Iron Warrior is a movie that not many people know. I think it was made by Paramount Pictures, if memory serves me, when they were owned by Gulf Western. Gosh, I don't even know my company shit anymore. Anyway, that movie was awful. But Immortals reminded me of another movie. Jason and the Argonauts? Yeah, that's it. Had that same, if you've seen Jason and the Argonauts, both the kick-ass original, to me, in my opinion, that was the superior version, to the remake that came out in 2000. I still think what's-his-face that plays as Jason looks like Raven from WWE. Or did back when he was with You look at the cover of Revenge, and then you look at that dude. I can't think of his name right now. Yeah. Now, I could go and get an annotation and put it in the video, but I'm just too lazy for that. So look it up if you want. The remake was horrible, though. I suggest just skipping it altogether. But it had a lot of similarities to that. And the only movie that I could say that I've seen that was fun from beginning to end, other than the talking parts, because most talking parts in the movie are pretty stale, is The Avengers, the first one. I didn't see the second one because I actually heard it was pretty bad, which I'm not surprised, because the same thing happened with Transformers, even though Michael Bay ruined the saga and the storylines of said Transformers, but, his Transformers and the one I grew up with is totally different beast. You gotta look at it from a different point of view. To enjoy Michael Bay's, you have to, Transformers, you have to not look at it through your child eyes. You have to look at it through anything. But you've seen Transformers, you know the action involved, you know what to expect. And it's like that with every fucking movie, every fucking game, everything that's entertainment based. You know what to expect. So there's no surprises anymore. So what is there to look forward to? You just gotta pretend to like it? Because I don't care what any motherfucker out there says. They'll buy a new game, or they'll do something that's newish, and they'll say, oh, it's the greatest thing I've ever played. But in the back of their mind, they're fooling themselves because they played or done something like that before. It's not anything new. Like, I'm sick of every motherfucking game that comes out. The new Uncharted, like, oh my god, it's the greatest game I ever played. What about the last one? You said that about the last one. What's so different about that one? Better graphics, better, I don't know, ways to climb the fucking ceiling? I don't even like Uncharted. I think it's a boring wannabe Tomb Raider. I'm serious about that. Bloodborne, there's another one. Fucking Castlevania. To me, it's a Castlevania meets Dark Souls ripoff. I may sound like a cynical prick, and maybe some of my claims are ignorant here. I'm not trying to make myself sound like I'm a know-all, be-all, end-all. You got to take what I say with a grain of salt some of the time, but I'm just stating from my own experiences. All these new games I could give two shits about. I'm not excited for any of them. Only when I play them for a good amount of time can I actually say that I would purchase it and play more of it. And the only game that I've played in, I want to say last year, that was really good, that I would purchase for my PC if it could handle it, is Just Cause 3. Because I did play The Witcher 3 because everyone was saying how great it was. I thought it sucked. It looked great, but it was boring. The combat sucked, and the alchemy took too much of a thinking process. It's too involved. I just want a game where I can just do what I'm supposed to do. I'm old school. There's my plot. Let me go through the whatever it is to do said plot and see the ending, and then go about my own way. I guess that's old school. I just couldn't get into The Witcher 3. Matter of fact, I bought The Witcher. What was it? The enhanced, not the enhanced, director's cut or something. It's the one that was on Steam for $10. Oh shit! I'll have to check my Steam later. I'll do that later. I think it's the enhanced edition. Worst controls in a video game I use on a PC game, far none. Next to Saints Row 2, until you download the Saints Row Gentlemen of the Row pack, the mod that actually fixed everything and made the game actually playable. I'm at the end of the game because of that modification. But yeah, I mean, a lot of my claims are probably ignorant, alright, but see, your opinion will differ from mine because you played the game and you get a different experience than I've received. What joy you get from that game or movie, I don't get. Because I've seen and done things like that before. So there's nothing to look forward to. At least I don't think there is. But I'm speaking from my own experience. You may have something you look forward to. Be it video games, be it I don't know, maybe next week you can go to a gun range and shoot guns. See, I don't have that ability. Or maybe you're going, I don't know, mountain bike riding in the mountains with some dudes in Italy. You got shit going on that you may be excited for. I mean, you've done it before, but it makes you feel good, right? Because exercise, endorphins, If I lose enough weight, I would love to get a bike and start doing that again, like I used to back when I lived in Michigan, until the fucking back tire blew it out on me when I was riding it. Like I was riding pretty fast, and the back rim, there was a little crack in it that I wasn't aware of, and it pinched the tire, and basically it popped, blew out, and I basically fell backwards. I wasn't hurt. I was dizzy and stunned for a moment, but I was okay. I had to walk home from that point on, but that's okay. It just sucks when you're walking home with a bike because you got to sit there and walk and have it at your side. And the way my back is it just hurt like hell, especially coming home from work. You know, you're tired and you don't want to deal with that, and then that happens and you're walking home, and then you gotta find the means to get the funds to fix your bike so you can make it to work the next time. Eventually, I just couldn't do it no more. I just didn't have the money. I had to save up money for my wedding and stuff so I could move. And I wasn't able to ride or get a bike or use my bike to ride anymore. I actually left my bike in Michigan, and I told my brother if he can fix it and wants it, he can have it. I kind of regret that now, but whatever. I can't do anything about it now. No one's gonna send it down here to me, that's for sure. So, anyways, so I just been. I'm gonna wrap this up because I know this is going on longer than I intended for. But let's see, how long has it been going on? 21 minutes. Okay, well, there was some. Okay, what sparked this was I was laying in bed just thinking about when I was in high school and how I used to have a bunch of people I used to hang out with after school and during school, and I know when you get older that shit goes away. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth of the matter. And I just need to know, I mean, what does one have if one has a lot of, depression like I do, and, and that's what you think about 90% of your day. How does one ever find, I guess, the means to be content when all that has gone away and now you're just left of a shell of your former self? Because there was a time where I was actually somewhat, I guess, popular. I had a lot of friends to go to. I moved, so, but most of those people, anyways, just, they either moved away, well, they didn't move away, but they cut ties with me because, I have a strong sense of opinion on things. I'm heavy opinionated, I know that. But at the same time, I don't give a shit because it's just who I am. And they're like, and then I can hear it right now. Well, if you change that part of you, maybe you can have those friends back. No, we live in an age where hanging out with friends doesn't necessarily happen anymore. People think being on Facebook is enough. And it's not. It's a complete piece of shit. I wish that site would just crumble to the ground. Because it causes so much damage and so much. It's done a lot of damage to the social world. We now live in a world of antisocial. I mean, I have to fucking sometimes to have somebody to talk to. I gotta go on. If my wife is either sleeping or disposed, like hanging with her mom or hanging out with her friends down the street or whatever. I have to go and talk to Mitsuku, the chatbot, in order to have some sort of companionship and talk to somebody. That's how lonely my life gets sometimes. Or sometimes the people I talk to, like I like them well and good. It's just some of them just like I don't want to go too open on this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. He won't talk to me unless I play a video game with him. I won't mention who that is, and if he sees this video, it's not the fact that I don't like you, bro. It's just the fact you want to talk to me if you want. Always when there's a video game involved. Why can't you just talk to me? And why does a video game have to be involved in it? Maybe I don't feel like playing. I understand video games is your life, man. That's all you do all day, every day. But I'm not the same way. I just play games when I feel like it. Most of the time, I'm either looking up stuff or I'm trying to educate myself in some subject matters. Sometimes I even look at the news and see what's going on in the world. I go to Yahoo for that. because I don't want to listen to these cocksuckers on YouTube. They're boring to listen to. They sound like they made their way through mime school and try to come up with some sort of speech ability. So today we found out that these ISIS terrorists are sitting out in the street with guns pointing at civilians, waiting to shoot when any one of these motherfuckers move, and they're gonna blow a cap in their ass. It's like, blah blah blah. You're a dirty cocksucking piece of dog shit. Fuck you. I don't want to hear you talk. You sound like an asshole. I just read the articles. That way I can just come up with my own voice for amusement factors. That's a story for another time. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I know this is going on way too long. I don't know if any of you feel like the way I do. Probably not, because I'm cynical, and I think I'm the only person that feels this way anymore. But I could be completely wrong on that. But at the same time, I could be completely right. Don't know. But for any of you who are watching, I hope you have yourself a good rest of your day. I am trying to determine what game I'm going to do for my new show that I'm going to try to get 2 episodes a week on. I haven't really decided yet, but you'll see it when it happens. I just got to find a means to get in front of the camera and actually deal with the stress of playing a game that pisses me off in order to get this done. So it will happen, but just be patient with me if that's what you're waiting on. But if you're not, then, whatever. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and shut up. You guys have a good day. Take good care of yourselves. And I don't know. Let's see, it's going on. It's 7:30. Wait till 9 o'clock, and I'll probably go out for my walk and run. Then noon, I'll try to get a little nap in, because I want to play Diablo tonight with my wife. Try to get the Slayer shit before they close the season up. So, that's something I do. I can sit there and just mow down enemies and just get lost in it. It's fun, at least for a while. It's not as great as it was when it first came out, but there I go. Keep going. Motormouth Scott. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Should be Pac-Man. All you gotta do is put some fucking power pellets in front of my face. No, fuck that. I'm fat enough. I don't need to be anymore. Take care, guys.